let's talk about Dillon Gabriel. We've talked about Carson Beck enough times. I think Georgia fans, should be happy with the amount of times that we freaking have talked about that kid.
All right, Dillon Gabriel, go.
You mentioned the Texas game. That's one that sticks in my head. I think at the bare minimum, he has to be top 3. He should be one of the favorites for the Heisman Trophy. He fits perfectly with the offensive scheme that he's stepping into, not to mention the fact that 2 of their offensive tackles return, a number of their receivers return. Oregon is going to be on a path and a track for massive success. And Dillon Gabriel, as I mentioned with Ewers, as I mentioned with Jackson Dart, experience matters when we're talking about these guys. And he fits the billing. Is he the most physically gifted out of any of these guys that we're talking about? Hell no. He is not even 6 feet tall. He's probably got the lightest arm out of any of these dudes, but he's the most accurate. He makes the quickest decisions. He gets the ball out really quickly and is pinpoint consistent. Dillon Gabriel is going to get better from the results that we saw last year.
He's a gamer.
Yeah.
He's just a gamer. I'm going to tell you something you're going to hate. You know what he is?
What?
He's a left-handed Stetson, brother. He's not going to eat. Huh?
I don't hate that.
Oh, he's a left-handed Stetson Bennett. Both are mobile more than you give him credit for. Look, and you talked about that Texas game. He took over that game from running the football. And by the way, that's a playoff team, right? Like that is a bona fide playoff team that he put on his back and carried them. Here's the question. Can he do that against Ohio State? Can he do that against Michigan? Can he do that against these other opponents? Where I do think, I think it's one thing, Joe, to do it against Texas, who had a 90-something passing yards allowed ranking last year. I think they were 97th, 98th. So it's not like their secondary was fantastic. But he did what he needed to do to win. And to be real with you, I'm gonna take a shot at Oklahoma here. Shame on you, Brent Venables, for letting him go. Jackson Arnold's is probably not ready.
Yeah, that was unbelievably stupid. For forcing that situation. Now, maybe you're throwing Jackson Arnold in his first season when you're joining the SEC. That is so
brutal
stupid.
Schedule.
We've talked about it.
Schedule. So I mean, look, I have him at number 2. Okay, and just for me, Joe, I think that he's just a gamer. He's not going to be an NFL guy. If he is, he's like Chase Daniels, and somebody wants him on there to be serviceable, and because he's such a smart football mind that you keep him around an organization. That is his ceiling. He's hit his ceiling.
I think that's a good way to put it, too, is that if there's anybody that we're talking about today that has already reached their ceiling, it's him.
1,000%.
There is nothing more that he can bring to the table physically. I'm not trying to be sit here and be critical of him, but I think that serves him the best circumstantially. Why you can't put him lower than 3. There are times where we have seen that he has put the team on his back.
And Joe, you know what? Everywhere he's gone.
But you know what? And I'm sorry, I'm such a dick for doing this, but he is a great example of why I feel good about Jackson Dart, because Dillon Gabriel was good and he showed some nice things when he was at UCF but was really inconsistent, and then goes to Oklahoma, shows some nice things, but is really inconsistent. But you always kind of felt that if he and the offense took that next step, if everything came together around him a little bit better, he could really, really lunge forward and be one of the better quarterbacks in the country. And he did that last year. And because he's so experienced, we're now sitting here saying he's either second or he's third in the country. And I think that is very applicable for a guy like Jackson Dart, where you see a lot of really nice things, but the play calling sometimes isn't always there. The offensive line sells him out like they did against Georgia, where he got his ass fucking pummeled because nobody was blocking for him. I just think that it is so important, and I love relying on guys and saying he has played a lot of football games, he's made flash plays, but it just hasn't always come together. Now that other guys have moved on, it's his turn to step up. BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.